Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars, the corner of the internet where the curtain lifts, the whispers grow louder, and the feelings on and off camera become impossible to ignore. If you haven't yet, subscribe, tap join to keep this family thriving, and like this video if you crave stories that linger long after the screen goes dark. Tonight's story isn't just a headline, it's a heartbeat. And it might be the most intimate one we've shared. There are evenings when life feels choreographed, when silence cuts sharper than any line an actor could deliver. One of those nights unfolded in Istanbul just days ago, an unassuming outing that unexpectedly took center stage. Alina was spotted watching Alp Navra's brand new series. What looked like a casual gathering among friends slipped into something far more raw, something that caught even her off guard. In a tucked-away cafe where the city quiets to a murmur, Alina settled in at a side table with a small circle of friends. The glow from the television framed her face. On the screen, Alp's voice, posture, and intensity poured through a character walking the edge of love and loss. At first, it seemed like simple support, one artist acknowledging another's work. Then came the scene that altered the temperature of the room. Alp's character leaned in and offered a line that felt like a confession to the night, that there are moments when love chooses release instead of holding on. The room stopped. Those near Alina say her eyes brightened, not from the screen's reflection, but from feelings she tried to rein in. She lowered her gaze, exhaled carefully, and murmured something so soft yet unforgettable, "He still finds words that land where it aches." A phone captured a few seconds. The tremble of a gaze, the quiet press of her lips, the silence that followed. By midnight, that tiny clip had already circled the city. By morning, tags with their names were racing up trends far beyond Turkey. The internet does not sleep for moments like these. Tell us what you felt watching that clip. Was it a memory resurfacing or something that never left at all? Share your thoughts in the comments, we read every single one. And while you're here, subscribe and join our channel to stay close to stories that feel like they're your own. Back to that evening, when Alina eventually stepped out, she didn't dodge the bulbs, and she didn't feed them either. Later, a new post appeared on her socials, one single sentence that carried an aftertaste of truth. Some scenes aren't performed, they're survived. That was all it took to spark a storm. Fans read it as an unmasked confession, a window cracked open to a heart that has learned to live with echoes. One follower wrote, "That line isn't about acting, it's about him." Another added, "When love leaves, it never gets far." The next morning, reporters asked Alp if the whispers had reached him. His reply was brief but weighted, "I'm grateful she tuned in." Not everything asks for explanation. Hours later, during a sit-down interview, he offered another line. Gentle, almost offhand, but unmistakable in its meaning. Sometimes the roles speak on our behalf when our mouths won't. To many, it felt less like a statement to the press and more like a message sent across a quiet bridge. By the day's end, the media had transformed a private reaction into a national conversation. Articles revived their shared history, fans dug up photos from their time on set. Entertainment pages paired then and now images that painted a timeline only the two of them could truly read. Chemistry that once lived on screens felt as if it had taken a breath again, this time carried by glances and unsent sentences. Those present at the cafe say that after the credits rolled, Alina stayed where she was, eyes settled on the blank reflection of the screen. When a shy fan approached, she offered a small smile and said, "It was crafted beautifully, like he always does." Simple words, heavy undertones. If stories like this tug a little too hard, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars. We bring you the feelings the tabloids rush past, the ones that take their time and leave their mark. For months, quiet rumors suggested Alina hadn't fully packed away the memories linked to Alp. She tapped the heart under discreet posts about his work, followed fan accounts dedicated to his projects, and appeared at industry nights that somehow curved back to him. A journalist close to both said, "Alina rarely moves without intention. If she was there that night, it's because something in her still stirs when it comes to him." Alp, true to his grounded, introspective image, said very little. But his silences carried weight. The night after the cafe clip, he posted a short reel, a dark screen with a single line in bold white, "A glance can outvoice any speech." Fans connected the dots without blinking. The comments poured in, "This is meant for her." They still feel it. That thread never snapped. What happened online wasn't orchestrated, it breathed on its own. Within hours, their unspoken exchange became a living narrative, woven by viewers, amplified by timing, untouchable by manufactured PR. Behind the scenes, entertainment insiders added another layer. Whispers claimed that a major streaming project in development had floated Alina's name beside Alp's as a potential pairing. The idea of seeing them together again, not as a throwback, but as two artists meeting anew, sent ripples through their communities. Old edits resurfaced. Soft-lit throwbacks returned to timelines. Captions leaned into hope, "Bonds like that don't vanish, they lie quiet and wait." Then came a detail that cut closer to the bone. An insider said Alina had once drafted a letter she never sent. It began with gratitude and ended on a line that could stop a pulse, "You were my quiet sea, and my wild gale." Suddenly, it was bigger than gossip. It was an emblem, the way two people can mark each other so deeply that even their silences leave fingerprints. Every shared phrase, every lyric tucked into a caption, every quote lifted from a book or a script, fans examined it all, mapping meaning onto the spaces between words. They weren't just reading posts, they were translating pauses. A few days later, Alp uploaded a video thanking viewers for embracing his new show. It seemed routine. But those who watch everything noticed the music under his voice. It was the same song he and Alina used to drift to between takes, a melody that hummed through their breaks like a secret only they understood. Coincidence? Maybe. Or a quiet way of saying, "I remember too." That one detail, just a few notes, was enough. Feeds lit up again. People wrote that the two were still communicating, not in statements but in careful choices. Others said fate has a habit of timing itself perfectly. Even skeptics admitted, the words, the timing, the tune, none of it felt accidental. And so a casual night turned symphonic. An actress watched a man she knows too well. A line in a script cracked something open. A single sentence on a screen invited the world to look closer. A reply, measured, tender, suggested there was more to hear if you listened in the quiet. Threads from their shared past found the present, and the present didn't turn away. Alina Boz and Alp Navras may never spell out what remains between them. They don't have to. Some truths prefer the language of a look, the echo of a song, the glint that appears before a tear ever falls. The heart doesn't always issue press releases, it simply beats in a way that people recognize. Before you go, tell us what you think. Was this a brush with nostalgia, or the first page of something new for Alina and Alp? Would you want to see them share the screen again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this story stirred something in you, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars, tap join to support us, and like this video so more people can feel this story the way you did. Here at Secrets Behind the Stars, we don't just tell what happened, we sit with the emotions until they tell us why they mattered.